Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. We are joined today with two Brahmin who are just kind of chilling, watching us as we record. And today we are at Charnel House. This is a location in the far western part of the Capital Wasteland. Now, upon researching this location, I found out what a Charnel House is. It's not a name. Charnel House is used, or usually was used in the past, when cemeteries or burial grounds became full, or they needed to make more space. They would dig up the dead bodies and put the bones or whatever remains inside of the charnel house. Usually they were just rooms piled with bones because cemeteries get full. The practice is not as common today, but there are still charnel houses in the United States, Europe, and elsewhere around the world. I just thought that was really interesting. And here on the mini-map, you can see the location of Charnel House, located just northwest of Evergreen Mill and northeast of Vault 112. Now, the house itself doesn't really seem like a charnel house to me, because it just seems like a farmstead inhabited by raiders. Now, there is a basement, and we cannot access much of the basement, so maybe there is bones or something down there, or perhaps raiders just took people here and killed them, and at one time there were a lot of bones. But as far as I can see, there's no evidence that this was a charnel house, and there's no cemetery or anything nearby. This one body did freak the hell out inside, though, after I killed him, so maybe it is haunted, and his spirit was leaving his body or something, and his body just completely freaked out. With Rex, killing the raiders was actually pretty easy. There was only a few of them, and after that we can explore the house. Now, there are tons of frag mines surrounding the house, so be careful. Outside of the house, we could see some graffiti, like a nuclear explosion, and there's some more graffiti inside. Here's the basement I mentioned, kind of a collapsed portion of the house, but there's nothing down here, but there is a barricade, so perhaps there is more behind that barricade. We just can't access it. That seems a bit scary, though, like a horror movie. But then we have a dead raider, and of course you want to loot them, get some ammunition. And I got really lucky because I just wasn't paying attention to the frag mines, and I was just jumping around like an idiot as the frag mines detonated. We have a dead tree and a car outside of the farm, or outside of the house, and I just thought that was a really cool scene. Upstairs, we can find a few ammunition boxes that will contain random ammunition. Make sure to grab that, and then also upstairs, up here, we can find a copy of Duck and Cover. So, really good. And then, if we come up on the southern part, there's a small hill with a staircase leading to the top of the hill, and you can get some very beautiful views of the surrounding area. Now, one reason I really like this location was there's a lot of small things kind of littered around this location. I had a lot of fun just kind of exploring around, seeing what there is. This is kind of why, or the purpose I wanted to start this series in the first place, which is kind of going to these locations, exploring around, and Charnel House did not disappoint. Now, there was a Yao Guai nearby that actually killed me once. Oops. The next time I came in, I had the high ground, and he couldn't reach me, and with Rex's help, we could kill him. Rex had a lot of power in that attack. And then just north of Charnel House, we have Scavenger's House. This is an abandoned outpost, or abandoned scavenger house, and there's just a bunch of junk inside, but we do have some things of note. There's an easy locked ammunition box, again with random loot. There's also a first aid box, again with random loot, and there's a toy car. Now, besides that, there isn't much on this part of the house, but on the opposite side of the house, we can find 2 beds, 2 pre-war books, and a bottle of Nuka-Cola Quantum. However, a lot of the loot inside of the house is considered stealing, and we can't use the beds, suggesting someone might live here. But, on the other hand, a lot of the loot is not considered stealing. Don't know what Bethesda's logic was behind programming this house. Some things are stealing, some things aren't stealing, but hey, whatever. And if we go to the west of the Charnel House, you're going to find a radio tower and perhaps a rad scorpion that's apparently killed a mole rat and a protectron, quite the rad scorpion. But you're going to find a radio tower that is unmarked, and if we head up to the radio tower, we will find Signal Papa November. Now, we have to turn on the radio tower, and using your radio, you can listen into the signal, and you'll get some Morse code. Now, according to the wiki, the translation of the Morse code is as follows. Calling all stations, any stations. This is the station's ID, invitation to transmit. So it seems like that somebody was trying to contact other stations, and if we head over to the northeast of the radio tower, we can find a sewer, and inside of the sewer is a dead woman and the radio that was being used to transmit. So this is a bit similar to Relay Tower KXBA11 and the Oscar Zulu signal, where we had a family that was calling for help. Perhaps this woman was also calling for help. Now in this sewer you can find various loot, including some pre-war books and a copy of Pugilism Illustrated, which is next to the ladder at the entrance. Who knows how long this woman was down here, if it was relatively recent or relatively long ago, right at the time of the Great War. My guess would be during the Great War. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this episode of the Unexplored Capital Wasteland. I had a lot of fun making this video and exploring around this location. Now I have a lot of recommendations from long ago that I need to get to in Fallout 3, and I am working my way towards getting to those. It's just been a slow process, and I apologize about that. But if you have any recommendations for future locations in Fallout 3, please post them in the comments section below. And, as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time.